What I do want to say today is I have been contemplating what the season of fall represents. And to me, it represents a time of retracting your focus from outward goals and ambitions in order to move inward and take stock of your life and to reestablish what is important to you and reconnect with your values and to release what no longer serves you anymore. I think living according to the seasons and cycles of nature can be so helpful and healing and beneficial. So anytime I move into a new season, this season we're in being fall, I really tune into what this time represents, and then I try to use that contemplation as a guide in my own life and in my yoga practice. So when I think about reconnecting with my values and releasing what no longer serves me, I then think about the type of yoga postures, the asana postures that can help facilitate that process of inward connection and releasing what I don't need anymore. And the postures that help facilitate that process and the postures that are very supportive for us to do in fall are standing postures that give you a sense of strength and rooting in your legs and your pillars of support. Others are folding postures that give you a sense of introspection. Twisting and revolving postures help aid the detoxification process and also help support the strength of your spine to help you stay upright and connected to the core of yourself. And also hip opening postures. So what are these? Standing postures such as the warrior series, particularly humble warrior, is when you begin in warrior 1 and then you take your hands either to your hips or clasp them behind your back and then you bow over your legs. Your torso bows to the inside of your thigh. So this is an interesting posture because there's a lot going on at once. Starting from the ground up, your feet are rooted down into the floor, but they're apart from each other. So there's a sense of wobbliness that gives you an opportunity to gain strength within the wobble. And then you are folding, giving yourself a sense of reflective introspection. And also in that fold, you are challenging your balance. So humble warrior is a nice fall posture to do. Any twisting postures such as revolved chair pose, supine twisting postures, seated twisting postures, anything that helps you connect to the center of yourself, connect with your core. You hug your navel into your spine and then you revolve your chest one way as your foundation stays rooted. So that really helps gain a sense of connectiveness to your center, and it also helps sort of wring out and release what you don't need. So to give you a bit of a recap, helpful and supportive postures that you can practice in the fall season are standing and balancing postures such as the warrior series or tree pose or half moon. Chair pose is another good grounding and rooting pose to take. Forward folds such as Uttanasana or seated forward fold. Pigeon pose is a good one because it opens your hips, and any hip opener helps open the hips where we store a lot of emotional energy. So when we can tap into stretching the outer hips and the glute area, we can really open that area and release what we don't need anymore. And finally, twisting postures. You can do an easy supine twist where you're laying on your back and you can take your knees to one side and your gaze to the other. You can do a seated twist where you're in an easy seated pose, and you can simply twist your heart to face one way and then twist to the other way. And if you really want to up the intensity, revolve triangle is a nice intense pose to practice, which captures your attention. Sometimes intensity, it can be a tool to capture your attention into the present moment. So fall is all about pulling your focus back and inward, and we can use postures as a tool to help us pull our focus from outwardly ambitions inward, where we can recap, we can reestablish. In the cycle of seasons in the natural world, there's a time and a place for everything. We can't spend 365 days a year with sort of extroverted energy. It is so helpful to let the seasons guide you and let them guide your energy output, because the fall is a nice time to begin to store away and save your energy a little bit. So following the seasons of the year is a really nice way to tap into your aliveness and to manage your energy output and to feel guided in where you can place your focus. And when you can feel guided in where you can place your focus, it's a nice tool to use to live deliberately. And as you know, because I've been talking about it for months, living deliberately is just the absolute ticket to living a passionate and well-lived life. So use the seasons to help you live deliberately. You can use the seasons as a guide to figure out where you want to place your attention, whether outward in the summer season when you're active and you're creating and you're sending out. Fall is the time to take it back in. And yoga is a practice that you can use year round and tailor the yoga practice to the season that you're in. So in the season we're in now, let's do some standing postures, chair pose, revolving postures, hip openers, and forward folds. And yeah, I think that's all I want to say today. Okay, thanks for being here. Bye-bye.